In this lesson, I want to talk about textures. Textures are not like brand new to us already because we already worked on textures of skin by doing some frequency separation. We already worked on dodging and burning. We worked on hair. So we are familiar with textures, but um, inside a photo, there's almost always more textures, right? I mean, look, I don't know how to call the different parts of the clothing that she's wearing, but on her head, that's one texture, and then here, that's another texture. You can even see it, right, as I zoom in. And then this, the black part, and this is totally different texture. And then look, if she's wearing here, not wearing, she's holding this drum, which is actually leather. And I want to at least realize that these are different textures. And by the way, the background that I shot her in front is also some kind of a texture. By the way, it's kind of a fabric kind of thing. So it's not paper. And I know that, and I noticed that. And as I said before, if you notice those things, that's the big part. Then, after you notice, then you're going to work on them in all different ways. What I want to do now is take the merged layer, and then I want to duplicate it by Control Command J. And then just because I want to work on the upper one, I don't need both of them, but I just want to see the difference. And I do want to work on a layer which will be above the group. So what I'm going to do is just take the top layer. I'm going to go into filter and then choose camera raw filter again. Now, let's say that I decide that what I want to look at is only the drum, okay? Only the drum. So I want to work on the texture. I want to see if I'm getting enough detail. So let's see what happens if I play with the shadow. Not enough, just a little bit maybe. Maybe it needs to go to, maybe I need to work on the blacks, giving me a little bit of texture. But I already know that if I go into effects and I play with clarity, so that's going to do a lot, right? I'm urging you to look only on the leather here. Maybe I'm just going to make it bigger. Well, not that bigger. Let's see if I can take it down to, okay, 60%. So I want to focus only on that. And look, there's absolutely no rules here, okay? You really have to trust yourself and to see whatever pleases you when you work on some kind of a material. And I like that. So, okay, I played around. I don't want to tell you exactly what I did because I don't want you to copy me. I want you to pick different textures inside your photo and then just like see how it feels. And here, look, if I actually go here 100%, you can see that it almost like I can almost feel like I can touch it. I almost feel like I can touch it and feel. And that's what I want. That's what I want from my photos. I want to be able to feel like I can almost touch. And when I see it, I know how it feels if I touch it. Okay. Sometimes we want to have less texture, less clarity. We want to make something smoother. I'm just talking in particular about this drum now. Now, again, as you know, I already, what I did now, applied it to the whole photo. So I'm going to go down here, Alt or Option, click on the mask, and then what it did, it just hid everything. I'm going to Alt and scroll just to make it bigger, and space and drag to just position it where I want it to be. And on a 30% flow with a brush, with a white brush on this mask, I'm just going to go around here. Okay, let me just turn off this cursor so you can see what I'm doing without the help of the cursor. Let's make it bigger in the beginning. And then I want to see if it's, yeah, I could feather it a little bit just in the beginning. And now I'm just going to go through the whole thing, through this whole drum. Maybe even get these edges and yeah. It's giving me more details. It almost looks like some kind of a world map or something. Some kind of a, yeah. So I'm gonna make everything. Okay, now I do need to be a little bit more careful. So I'm gonna go closer here. Maybe I can take the flow up to 76 or something like that. I'm just like rapidly increasing the flow. Just so I can do everything a little bit faster. Yeah, okay, great. I'm using keyboard shortcuts to make the brush smaller or bigger. And okay, all right, now what I did, you might think, you didn't do a lot. I'm telling you, this is so much. First of all, I want to turn on and off the layer that added the texture and the modifications that we did only for the drum. Just want to add a little bit here. This adds so much like three-dimensionalism, three-dimensionality. I don't know how to say this, but it adds this 3D effect to the picture, because look, now it feels like it's closer. It feels like it's closer. I'm going to Control Command 0 to reset the view here. And now I'm going to turn on and off. Look only on the drum. And look how now it's just glowing. Not glowing, but like it feels like it's a different part. And by editing, we can do that. We're separating different materials and different objects in the photo to make them look like they're not exactly flat and they're not exactly the same. And okay, so what I want to do now is I'm going to Control Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E on the Mac and just merge it into another layer now. And then again, I'm going into Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And this time I'm just going to look at the black part of what she's wearing, and let's take the clarity down this time. Okay. Tempting to take it up. Trying to think, what should I do? I think I'm going to take the clarity down. I think I'm going to try to take even the texture down, and then I'm going to take the highlights a little bit up to maybe try to bring some, maybe the whites, maybe the contrast. What I'm trying to do is just change the texture and play around with light, with all the light sliders that are under light right here, and with the effects. Let's see what happens when I move the dehaze. What I'm trying to do is just move around. Again, there's no rules here. You have to explore for yourself. By the way, after years of editing, I'm exploring right now. I don't know exactly how I want this black part of her clothes to be, but what I'm doing is I'm playing around with it until I see something that I feel, and art is about feeling, I feel that it's right. So I'm going to click OK now. It will destroy the photo as a whole, but again, I'm just going to go here, Alt or Option, click on the adding mask, and it's going to hide it. And then again, I'm going to go only to the black part and revealing what I did inside Camera Raw. And I hope you realize this is really great. What's happening here is this: once we're separating different objects and textures that are inside the photo, once we start separating them by giving them different effects, we're creating this 3D amazing result. And look at the photo now. I don't know if you, this is really exciting for me. Like, I think this is like the best result I ever got with this. And it's just amazing. I'm going to take these two layers that I just used, and I'm just going to Control or Command G for a moment, just so I can turn them on and off and show you. This is the picture before and this is after. And you can see that I'm bringing so much into life by doing that. All right, so I'm just gonna Control Z until it ungroups everything that I just grouped. Perfect. Let's continue. Let's see what else I want to do here. Control Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E on the Mac for another layer, and then Filter, Camera Raw Filter. And I ask myself, what do I want to work on now? Say that I want to work on this part of what she's wearing. Maybe I want to add a lot of clarity this time. All the texture in the world. Now I can exaggerate because I know that I can weaken the opacity of this whole layer later on. So I do wanna go crazy a little bit here. I'm going to click OK to that, and then again, Alt or Option click to hide everything, and let's put this effect into action in her clothes, in this part of her clothes. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay. See? I'm going to turn it on and off, just this layer, so you can see that we added some texture. Let's see if the same effect works on her. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, something that is really important for me to emphasize. remember how we did different amounts of texture in the hair? Now, sometimes I want to do the same with textures in the photo. Like, I don't want to be too much like black and white kind of thinking. That means that, like, what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to think in a way that, okay, this piece of clothing has to be exactly the same texture and clarity, just like we did with the hair. I don't want to think that way. So if you noticed, I took just this part of the whatever she is on her head, and I did that, and I think it's enough. Like, because if I would do the whole thing, I think I'm losing some of the 3D effect. So I'm gonna Control or Command Z here to undo, and then I'm gonna undo again. So it's like no effect here whatsoever. And then I want to show you again. I'm gonna take the flow down to, I don't know what, to like, no, that's too much. Let me take it down to like 4%, and then show you how I'm taking only the highlighted part here, and I'm adding texture, and the eye understands. Okay, I'm just gonna turn that on and off, and if you can please just focus on this area. Well, maybe I'll just leave you with no choice and do it for you. You see, I only applied it in this area right here. I applied it only in this area and not over here, because that's how it is in real life. Like, textures are sometimes, when they hit the light, they're more emphasized and stuff like that. It's infinite, the number of things that we can talk about when we talk about textures. So I think it's better just to kind of explain these things in a general manner and give you some examples, and trust you that you will take these understandings and apply it for yourself. Okay, so everything that we just did, I'm just gonna take the upper layer here and the third one by shift click, and then again I'm gonna group them, Control Command G, just so I can turn them on and off and show you what happened before and after. Before and after. I'm going to keep doing that a little bit because I want you to look at the drum before and after, before and after. Okay, the rich black is just making this picture so beautiful to me right now. So yeah, that's about textures. Remember that you could work on textures also that are in the background. Okay, if there's different objects in the background. And if we're already here, let's look at one more thing. I'm just going to Control Alt Shift E or Command Option Shift E on the Mac, and I'm gonna do one more time working on the texture of the background. Sometimes we can do by going into Camera Raw. All right, I just opened the Camera Raw for a new layer here, and I'm gonna hover over. I'm gonna go here to masks. Now I can click here, and it will automatically select the background for me, and then these parameters and these sliders will apply only to the background. Now we're going to do this also when we get into color and like general lighting, but I do want to just show you here that if I play with the texture here, I can slide down, and when I play with the clarity, now I'm playing with the clarity only of the background. All right, now if I add clarity now, it looks like there's like a desert storm behind her, and if not exactly, so at least it feels that way. So these are different things that you can also do when it comes to playing around with the texture of the background. Okay, so that's it for texture. I hit OK, so it's going to take Photoshop a moment, but this is the photo before I played with only textures, right? Only textures of her clothes, the drum that she's wearing, and the background. So just to sum it up one more time, I'm going to Control or Command G to put them all into one group and show you that this is the picture before, textures, and this is after. This is before, and this is after. One more time. I know that your eyes are focusing more on the background, but take a look at her clothes, maybe look at her hands, and see. Amazing. I will see you in the next lesson.